All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle one of the most frustrating things in the gym. You're putting in the work, but one specific muscle group just won't grow. Yep, we're talking about stubborn biceps and figuring out why they might be stuck.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're seeing gains everywhere else, but your arms just seem to be completely ignoring all your hard work. It's that feeling of hitting a brick wall, and man, it can be seriously demotivating.
So, what's the first place our brain goes when we hit that wall? We blame the one thing we can't change. It's so easy to just throw your hands up and go, well, I guess I just don't have the genes for big arms. It's the perfect excuse.
But is that really what's going on here? Is it actually your DNA holding you back? Or could it be something much, much simpler? Something you can actually fix? Well, let's dig in and find out. Okay, let's get right into it with culprit number one. And honestly, this is probably the biggest reason for most people. We see it in the gym every single day. It's just plain bad form. The thinking kind of makes sense on the surface, right? If you want to get bigger muscles, you got to lift bigger weights. But this is the exact trap that so many of us fall straight into. We pile on the plates and we end up sacrificing the one thing that actually makes muscles grow. And this brings us to the classic battle: the ego lift versus the effective lift. The ego lift, man, you see it everywhere. Someone loads up the barbell and then uses their entire body, their back, their shoulders, a whole lot of swinging, just to heave the weight up. But the bicep, it's barely doing anything. The truth is in the effective lift, using a lighter, controlled weight where the bicep is isolated and forced to do 100% of the work. So here's the thing you have to remember. Your muscles have no idea how much weight is on that dumbbell. They can't read the numbers. All they know is tension. By dropping the weight and using that perfect controlled form, you're actually putting way more productive tension on the bicep. That is the trigger for growth. Okay, so let's say your form is absolutely dialed in, but you're still stuck. Well, that brings us to our second culprit. The problem might not be how you're lifting, but what you're lifting week after week. See, our bodies are incredibly smart. They are adaptation machines. If you do the exact same 3 sets of 10 curls every single week, your muscles eventually go, okay, I got this, and they adapt. Once they've adapted, they have absolutely no reason to get any bigger. The challenge is gone. So, how do we shake things up? How do we give them a new reason to grow? Variety. It's all about hitting the muscle from different angles. Instead of just doing standard curls, you bring in hammer curls to work a different part of the arm. Use incline curls to get a really deep stretch. Then you hit preacher curls for that insane squeeze at the top. Each one is a new puzzle your muscles have to solve. All right, our third culprit. This one comes from a place of pure frustration. And I think a lot of us have been there. We think if a muscle isn't growing, we just need to hammer it into submission. We just need to do more. It's such a common trap, isn't it? Your biceps are lagging, so you decide, fine, I'll train them every single day, arm day, every day. But this whole approach just shows a huge misunderstanding of how muscle growth actually works. This is maybe one of the most important things to get right. muscle growth does not happen in the gym. The gym is just where you create the stimulus. You're literally breaking down muscle fibers. The real magic, the repair, the getting bigger and stronger, that all happens afterwards when you're resting, sleeping, and fueling your body. So when you train them every single day, you're never letting them finish that growth cycle. You just keep breaking them down over and over again. The problem isn't that your muscles are weak or stubborn. It's that they're just plain overworked. On to our final culprit. And this one isn't so much about the bicep curl itself as it is about the bigger picture we're often missing. Think of it like trying to decorate a room before you've even built the foundation of the house. It's so easy to get laser focused on those glamour muscles, right? We just want to do curls for days. But here's the deal. Biceps are actually a pretty small muscle group. They don't work in a vacuum. They're part of a much bigger system. And if you ignore that system, you're just spinning your wheels. So what's the fix? You have to build that foundation. You've got to prioritize big, heavy, compound movements. We're talking about pull-ups, heavy rows, even deadlifts. Yeah, they might be back exercises, but guess what? They hammer your biceps indirectly and build that overall strength that bigger arms are built on top of. Okay, so we've just busted 4 of the biggest myths and mistakes that keep people's arms from growing. So, where does that leave us? What's the actual path forward? Well, here's the spoiler alert. There is no secret exercise. There's no one weird trick or magical new curl. The real answer is much simpler. It's about taking a step back and just mastering the fundamentals. So it really all boils down to these 4 pillars. Number 1, perfect your form. Lighter weight means more tension. Number 2, keep it fresh with constant variety. Don't let your muscles get bored. Number 3, get smart about recovery because that's when the growth actually happens. And finally, number 4, build a strong foundation with those big compound lifts. You nailed these 4 things and you will build real, sustainable growth. And one last thing, you have got to be patient. Real progress doesn't happen overnight. It's slow. It's about stacking up good workout after good workout. But then one day, you'll put on an old t-shirt and the sleeves will feel just a little bit tighter. And you'll know that all that hard work is finally paying off. Trust the process. So, we're going to leave you with this question. Armed with all this knowledge, what's the one thing you can adjust in your very next workout? Will you drop the weight and focus on form, or maybe add a new type of curl? The power to finally break through that plateau, well, it's in your hands now.